flyaways.
Oh, hi. It's time for Halloween Q&A. And still waiting for YouTube Live to come on. So I'm going to kind of stall and wait for you guys to answer questions in regards to what you are going to try and see your hairstyle like for Halloween. What do you need help creating? What can we help you do? And I'm not sure YouTube is ever going to come live, so I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to wait and see. Maybe somebody tell me if I'm live. Yeah, it's live. YouTube is live and it's dark in front of me? Wow, interesting. Okay, good. So I can keep talking then. Perfect. Oh, hey, Tara's on. I see. Thanks. Okay, so yes, today we are talking about Q&A for Halloween. So I was trying to think of what look to show you for Halloween, and then I figured there is no way I can cover everybody's wants for Halloween if I just pick a style. So I was thinking, you know, there's teasing things that you need to learn, there's, you know, glam things that you need to learn, there's how do you get hair to hold things that you kind of need to learn. So I'm wondering what your challenges are when you're thinking of what my Halloween costume is going to be this year, not mine, yours. So when you think of what your Halloween costume is going to be this year, you know, I want you to say, this is my challenge, Jacinda, please help me. And then help me help you. Help me help you. Anybody know the movie? Anybody? Help me, Jerry. Help me help you. I love that movie. It's really good. You had me at hello. Okay, so that's the goal today is what can I help you achieve for your Halloween costume goals? Because I know there's little tricks that I have lingering in here that could help you create your Halloween costume. So you guys will have to let me know when you start seeing questions. So if anybody here is typing in the background today, we have Jaquel here today, and so she's the one that's always in there answering all the questions. So if you're here typing, I don't hear it yet, but if you do, that's what she's doing. So, all right, so do we have any questions, anyone? Oh, Sandy from Greece.
I saw that too.
Oh, you don't want to see me and Sandy from Greece, but I can tell you what you need to do for Sandy from Greece. And I can help you with that if somebody really is going to do that. So you have to let me know if they're really looking for that answer or if they were just giving, you know, ideas. Some teasing? Okay, so I'll start with teasing so that you can see how to create volume. And what I would do is start with, ours is a thermal protectant, and our thermal protectant would hold your style for a really long time and help you hold volume. So that's what I would apply first, and then I'd blow dry that in. If you do not have our thermal protectant that does that, then you're looking for something that will make your hair hold volume, but not create weight. And that's the key thing if you're looking for something that will create volume up here. So usually like a powder is another good option for creating volume. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by putting a piece of hair straight up, and then you're going to rocker your brush or comb 3 times, hopefully. If you get 3 times, you can usually get pretty good volume out of it. That was kind of a funny piece, and depending on what you're looking for Halloween costumes, you know, you sometimes don't want to do the pretty style, right? So this is if you're doing like a Pam Anderson or like a bouffant kind of thing, you know, you can do that kind of teasing. And then if you wanted to go more like crazy, got in a car wreck, zombie kind of look, then that's different. So you're going to start with more padding there, and you're going to create volume there. But then you will want to do sporadic kind of teasing as you go through the hair. Okay? So that's more like of a zombie apocalypse, Walking Dead kind of look. So you're just going to go through the hair and get it more, you know, like that. And then something you could do if you're looking for like a way to make zombie hair pretty or cool or something just more girly, you could put some small braids in that, which would be a fun way to try. So I'm gonna do one side, I'm gonna leave it out as is, and then I'm gonna show you what it changes into as we morph through different looks. Should be kind of funny experience, I think, this day. And I do have a party to attend tonight, so I can't do my hair too crazy. That's why I can't do Sandy from Greece That one will get it. But I can teach you what you might need to do for that. So if you have something like that, you can then I would go in and I would use a lot of hairspray. Now, remember with hairspray, you want to spray with purpose, right? So if my purpose is to make the hairspray or the style big, I would spray in like this, and I would cover as much as possible while holding it up because it will build out the volume. So that's how you would want to spray that in, and then it'll make it stay better. So I'm not actually spraying because my purpose is not for me to have zombie apocalypse hair tonight at this party. So, okay. It's just a cocktail party, nothing crazy, but okay. So then I would put in like cool little braids, and then I'd maybe make them disheveled. So I'd go in and I'd braid. We've done a couple braiding lessons, but basically braiding is separating into 3 pieces, making sure your pieces have the same length at the end or close to the same amount of hair at the end is helpful. And then you just cross the piece into the middle. There's lots of different grips you can use for braiding. So just watch, you know, so the way I do it is I always cross into my middle finger and then I hold with my pointer finger and my thumb. The closer you hold to the top or where you're actually crossing over for the braid, the tighter the braid will be. So if I want a real loose one, I hold down lower. If I want a real tight one, I hold really close to where I'm braiding, okay? So I'll show you, hopefully that can show up later. So I'm holding close here, and then I'm gonna go really sporadic down here and make it more messy. Okay, so let's see if we can show you how that got tighter and looser. Not really, but it does work, I promise. Okay, so that didn't really work to show you that, but I'm not sure why.
And Jacinda, would you tease and then curl, or would you curl first, then tease?
It depends on the look I'm going for. So the question is, would I curl first and then tease, or tease and then curl? And usually it depends on your hair type and then the look you're going for. If I want a messier look, I would tease after. If I want a more controlled but just fuller volume, then I would tease first. Or, yeah, tease. Okay, so the other thing is you can really pull this apart and really make it more disheveled if you're looking for more zombie apocalypse, right? Just make it look like, what are we looking for then? Like I died already? That's what the goal is. So I probably don't want a pretty nice braid, right? Okay, so then you're just pulling apart. And then I would spray that. And then you could get more zombie. As if you keep mixing things in, you might mix in a twist. So a twist is just, we're going to split one piece into 2, and then we're going to take both strands and we're going to twist them the same way, okay? And then we're going to twist them together the opposite, okay? So you can, I like to twist as I twist them together. So I twist and then twist together and twist and then twist together. So it's always the same and then together the opposite. And then your twist will stay together, and it already looks kind of messy, which is what we want, but it's hard for me to get that look in front of you and show you because somebody's going to be judgy. No, not our audience though. Our audience isn't judgy. I'm not worried about that anymore, to be honest. We used to have a judgy audience in the beginning, but not anymore. We have the best viewers ever, I think. Best ever. It's like, what is that movie where he's in the car and he's like, best friends ever, do you know? Best.
We say it all the time, but I can't think of it.
The very best friends that anyone could have.
Oh, that's Hangover.
Yeah, Hangover. Do you remember how it goes?
We're the 3 best
Oh, yeah.
friends that anyone could
Yeah,
have.
we are the 3 best friends that anyone could have. We're the best 3 friends. Okay, so there's a twist. Okay, get my face off of there. Okay, so that's a twist. So that's twisting all one way and together the opposite way. So the technique takes you a second to get down. If you have trouble doing that, you can twist the whole strand and then twist it together the opposite. It'll just be a lot looser when you do that. So if you want a loose one, then that's really easy to accomplish by twisting the whole strand first and then twisting them together the opposite way as you go. Yep. And you'll probably have to retwist a few times because it'll untwist on you fast, but not when you have it banded. See? All set. I think this is how they did Angelina Jolie's hair in that one movie, the fast one. Do you remember where she was with Nicolas Cage and they were stealing cars?
Oh, I remember that movie. Yes.
Yeah. So that was a good one to show how these dreaded things can look. And I think they did this for Jennifer Aniston one year for the Grammys, and then they undid them.
Mm-hmm.
They did like a dreaded look. So anyway, there's lots of costume possibilities utilizing braids and twists and things like
I
that.
like that twist. That looks good.
Yeah, twists are fun. I when I was in Powder Puff Football, we had the whole team literally put their hair in this size of dreads. The whole entire thing is really cool. Looked really cool when they were in ponytails. Okay, so zombie apocalypse. I mean, that'd be a fun hairstyle. I think you could just keep putting like more messiness to it, and I'm sure you could come up with something great to make it. You could maybe add a couple of curls. So let's see if I add kind of a wonky curl in. So this is where drawing in curls makes it like exceptionally good. So you can, if I want just a little bit and then a little bit more, so I can make it look not perfect, but it can give you volume and it can give you movement, which is what you're going to need in this style. So your goal is not a perfect curl, so please don't think that I am not doing a good curl. It's the goal. It's the goal, guys. And I am going to leave my face frame like clean so that you can, just so that I don't mess it up too bad for my party. Okay.
And what's the best kind of brush to use for teasing? Short, fine hair. What would you use?
Short, fine hair? Okay.
Yes.
So with fine hair, to create volume and teasing, what you really need to do is make sure the bristles are closer together. So like when you're looking at a comb, I don't know if I have a comb with me right now. When you're looking at a comb, if you have the tighter bristles, that's better for fine hair to tease. And the thicker hair, you can use the wider tooth comb. You know what I mean? They're further apart.
Almost the round brush and paddle block brush like that.
Yeah.
Type of
Well, that's a little different. That's a little different than what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find a comb. Gotta keep a comb in here all the time. This is another kind, like for fine hair, something with boar bristle would help you get a really great tease in it. So we'll see how it does on my hair because they're really close together. So yeah, you can get it. No problem. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. It's awesome. All right. Deandra's getting a good kick out of my hair over there today.
I just know what you have to do tonight.
Yeah. Oh, you know. Yeah, you know about my cocktail party? Okay. All right. So, see, you can see how a boar bristle will get a lot more teasing, right? I can get it way more messy, way faster, as opposed to the paddle brush, which is more of a calm kind of tease. I can't even leave it like that, hardly. It's really tricky. I might be a zombie for Halloween this year. I think that's what I'm going to do if we have a Halloween shindig. Shindig? What a nerd, I said that. Okay, so that's kind of how I would do zombie hair. You would put more of these dreaded look things in it, I think, and then I would really spray a ton. And I would really, really spray right up front a lot so that it really holds it and makes it more big, and then I would lift and spray all back here so that it was going to stay with more big volume, and I would prep the hair with some kind of hold and volumizer. Okay, so that's zombie. What else do we have? Anything?
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
It's just, one person is wondering, how do you keep the twist to stay together when you do that twist one?
Yeah, the reason the twist stays together is because I'm twisting both strands one way, and then I twist them together the opposite. I can't twist my hands all the way, but they both go one way, and then together the opposite. And that's how it stays, and then just a little rubber band at the end, so it won't come untwisted.
And does teasing break your hair?
If you don't do it right, you can absolutely cause damage over time. It's usually not like, it's not usually like you get damage like the first time you tease your hair. So like if you're doing a Halloween thing, you're probably not going to damage your hair. But over time, I have seen people that will tease the same area repeatedly, and they just put so much tension and pressure on it. And that's not what it's about. Like teasing is about really taking your section and getting it prepped, right? Okay, so I have a pretty straight line of where I want to tease. Whether it's at an angle or straight back, it doesn't matter. But your line is what matters. And then you want to really rocker it. So that way I'm not putting pressure, I'm having the comb do the work for me. And that's the key to not damaging hair as you are teasing it. Because I have seen lots of damage, and then I usually walk people through how not to do that when I was a stylist in the chair, doing behind the chair. Okay.
And does Time have any products for volume?
Yes, we definitely have. So the question was, does Time have products for volume? Yes, this is your product for volume, shine, hold, thermal protection, and am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one.
Shine.
I said shine. Volume, hold, shine. Yeah, all of that, thermal protection. Yep, I said them all. Okay. Yeah, it's just protection, and because I didn't want you to have like 10 products under the sink, it just drives me crazy when they ask you to do that, and you're like, oh, which one do I put in first? How do I layer them? Oh, it's so much work. Okay, so if we wanted this to be like ramped up more, let me see what a couple more like curly curls look like with it. I think that's actually pretty cool. So you could do a couple of mixed, like open curls. I think that would do pretty cool for a zombie hair. I'm just practicing a costume, I think. I want to make up my costume right now. So I'm not twisting the iron very much, and I'm holding my iron really open to get those kind of curls so that it looks like not too controlled. Okay.
And what's the best hairstyle to do with a headband? She's going to be wearing cat ears.
Cat ears and a headband. I wonder if she has short or long hair. So somebody's looking for what do you do with like a hairstyle with cat ears. To be honest, I would do this kind of curl and I would tease it really big. I think like more like of a lion cat. I think that would be cute. Or because I think, like I said last week, I think guys like undone hair. So most Halloween costumes, girls are liking to look pretty with them. So I think that, and not always. I think that some people are comfortable. I've always wanted to have like a decent Halloween costume where I like feel okay about myself, not like I'm not comfortable in the like big pumpkin or something. But I think it's cute when girls do that. I love it. So if you're looking to have more of a vixen-y cat, I would do something more like this, and I would have a bunch of teasing in before, because I think ears look really cute. Putting them here with like bigger volume, and then this kind of a curl would be really cute. Whether you have short or long hair, I think that would apply to that. Okay.
A great question though. How do you get all this teasing out when you're done? Like,
yeah,
some people have a hard time. They just have a matted mess.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things, like the biggest recommendation the first thing I would do is I would start with Timeless. And then if I didn't have Timeless, what I would do is I would not brush through it before the shower. I would just let the shampoo and conditioner do the work for you instead of like brushing it through first, because I think you can just rip out so much hair taking out all the teasing and all the products and all the hair coloring and all of it. I would just go in and wash it and just use 2 shampoos and 2 conditioners, consecutively, not necessarily different. Okay. Anything else? Do we have no questions?
We want to know, can you show us a waterfall twist?
A waterfall twist? I don't know if that is possible. I would need somebody else's hair to do that. Jaquel, are you busy? I don't know how to do a waterfall twist. I could try a waterfall braid. Would that help?
I wonder if that's pretty much, we'll see if they answer.
Okay, so if somebody wants to see if they're looking for a waterfall braid, I don't know I've never tried a waterfall twist before, so I can do my best to help you with that. All right, so we're not having lots of questions? I'm surprised. People aren't getting dressed up. So, okay.
What about taking out the little rubber bands? What's your best way?
The little rubber bands?
Yeah.
I cut them. I just take a pair of scissors usually, and then I just cut like one little snip of it, and then I can just take it out. Or else like with my hair, it stays really well, so I can pull them out pretty easy.
I see a lot of questions about wig tips. What to do with synthetic wigs.
Synthetic wigs. Oh, how can you make them look good? So I think braids are your biggest advantage when it comes to synthetic wigs, because you can't put any heat on synthetic wigs, right? So the best thing you can do is first try and get this part controlled on it, because a synthetic wig usually has tons of like weird volume up here. So I would brush it down and try and get that volume right, depending on your costume, of course, right? But then you can use like little things like, you know, a bobby pin kind of twist thing here. So if you want to do a bobby pin twist to get like something controlled, like you could leave the front down, or if this is really heavy and long, you could pull it back, right? And then you just kind of twist it barely. You don't have to do a lot of twisting to it. And then with the bobby pin, to hide it in the wig, you want to make sure that you keep the bobby pin closed, and you can go ahead and just kind of stick it in there. You want to capture as much hair as you can as you're doing that, and then you're going to just stick it into the middle, and that can usually control it. Oh, I turned my head on that one. Okay. So if you turn your head and do a flub up like I did, you can just put it back in, or you can obviously start over always. I always try and make up the difference somehow by watching what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. So you can easily control like a front by doing a little twist thing like that, or putting a braid in. Sometimes when the twist helps because you're not revealing the roots on something. So people that are having extensions and things like that, like when you do a braid, sometimes it'll expose too much of the like scalp area. So you can really hide that with a look like this, doing some kind of twist. That was a good question. Synthetic wigs are tricky, and big braids are always helpful with synthetic wigs, so like down at the bottom.
And what's your trick, Jacinda, to keep a ponytail up and not fall out?
The right ponytail holder is the key for that. So I love these kind of little rubber bands. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, so I like these kind of little rubber bands. I think they work the best for holding a ponytail really well without being too hard on the hair. Because the bigger ponytail holders that have this same kind of feel are really harsh on hair, I think, when you're taking them out and things. So it's finding the right ponytail holder for your head, and I think these are pretty versatile. If you have thick hair like me, you'll want to use more like 2 or 4. And yeah, so that's what I would use, but like I think 2 or 3 is usually like pretty good for most people. One thing I did want to talk about for ponytails is last week when I did that ponytail and then I curled after, and I said I didn't know which way was better to curl before or after. I would absolutely, hands down, have curled first, because my hair was a disaster because I didn't have like good curls, so I couldn't just wear it the next day. I actually had to touch up curls, which I've had to do for a long time. I can't even remember the last time I did my hair twice in a week. So
now, where do you get those rubber bands? Because I would think they would bust going in your thick hair.
yeah, I just get them at like a Sally Beauty Supply. I just get the little rubber bands. They have like little tubs of rubber bands there, or if you don't use them as much, then they have little bags that are like 99 cents or $2 or something. They're really great. So I think they're called like Super Stretch or something like that, and they do. I mean, they like, this really stretches for that little rubber band.
I know Kinley has a lot of those little ones, but they snap and break before I even...
Yeah, there are some brands that will snap and break, and yes, if you're harsh on them, but that's why I like to double up each time. But this one only has one, but these are really good ones. I should find the box of this. I'm like,
advice on how to keep your hair underneath a wig.
Your hair underneath a wig. Okay, so the best thing you can do to keep your hair underneath a wig is put it back in like a really slicked back kind of bun. That's what most like performers do, is really slick back all of your hair and then get it under the wig. And then a lot of times they'll put a net on your hair, which can help you pin the wig onto your dome. Dome is my word of the week last week and this week. So yeah.
How do you hold a headband on a 3-year-old?
How do you keep a
headband on there so it doesn't fall out all the time?
like a regular headband?
Yeah.
That's tricky because it depends on the 3-year-old. Are they taking it off or is it slipping?
I think it's slipping off.
Slipping. I think they have some kind of like grip stuff for that actually. So if you look, if you're looking for a headband that needs to stay on better, like if they're just slippery and all, there's like a grip tape kind of thing you can put on that's like that. You know, they do that for clothing. It's kind of like almost like a rubber band feel. They have it on, They put it on a lot of bras and things like that now, don't they?
Yeah.
What else do they put on? In socks. You know, like those little short socks? Like they have them in those. And those help with headbands depending on, where you, what your headband needs are. Because if it's more hair related,
Yeah, and I know the sports ones have that grip on the back, like if you get them in Dick's or whatever. Usually all the name brand ones have those sticky things on the back.
Exactly. Yeah, there's definitely little tricky things that could help with that. I don't know if they are specifically made for it, and if they are, then we'll try and find a link to it and put it on if we can find anything like that. That would help with the headband, but I'm thinking you're gonna have to kind of make it up just by finding some kind of sticky silicone-y thing.
And how do you keep flyaways to stay down?
Flyaways to stay down? Okay, so how do you keep flyaways staying down? So the first thing you can do is control it with some kind of hold spray first, and that gives your hair more control. And then the next thing you can do when you just finish your style, so say I was done with my style right now, I could just spray, and I want to spray in the direction I want the hair to go, right? So if I want it to go down, I'm not going to spray up at it. And then you're going to take the side of the can and just go over that side real lightly. Don't push it down because then you'll mat your hair down. You just want to kind of skim over the top, and that will control that really nicely and keep the flyaways laying down more.
Just on that last one, I was reading that question again about her daughter. She's saying her 3-year-old is falling out. What if she doesn't have the time to go get something and make it braided along, the
Yeah, you could. So, you could definitely do like an underneath trick. So if you wanted something that could help it stay in right here, you could, in essence, put like, what do we call those? We have a term for it in the hair industry, and I cannot think of it right now. Hopefully it'll come to me. So you want to, maybe establishing a base, right? So you could put that little, like a something here, and then, so like a twist would be quick, or you could do a braid if you're good at braiding, and then you just connect it to a little piece behind it, and that will give it something to stick into, right? So she could definitely, you could do this for your 3-year-old and keeping the headband in. So you could just create like a base here for it to hold the headband in, right? So now I've got this, and I've got it tight to my head, but when I put this down, you'll never know that something like that is there. And so you can just then stick the headband right into that. Like, see, I can't
into
get
the
anywhere.
rubber band?
Yeah,
Would you put it through the rubber band, or just in the hair?
Either one. I think it depends on, the rubber band might get uncomfortable, but you could probably, it depends on what kind of thing you put there. That's in the rubber band. Okay, so that would probably hold the headband. Or some Shrek ears. You could do some Shrek ears based off of that if you wanted to. Some Fiona ears. That'd be fun. Huh. You never know what you're going to come across on live.
Any tips for one lady has a daughter that's going to do Wonder Woman, and she wants big curls, and she has very thin and slick hair.
So she has thin and slick hair. So I would honestly, so there are like these halo, it depends on what kind of money you want to spend on this and if you're going to use it in the future or not. This is where I need my scissors handy. So the question is, she has a daughter that wants to be Wonder Woman. She has fine hair and it's slippery, which means it probably doesn't hold curl. And she's looking for a big volume kind of look. So the first thing I would do is build the hair with some kind of product first. And then once you do that, then I would tease it a lot. And then I would go in and do the big volume curls. Big volume curls come from how you hold your iron. If you hold your iron more horizontal, you're going to probably get a bigger volume curl. So let me see if I can get a big volume curl for you after what I've put my hair through already, because I think this is a piece I've already curled, so we'll see how. So I would do more like this, and then I would brush it out, and you could get like big volume. But I would let it cool in place before I did any brushing for a long time, until the hair is cool to the touch, especially if it's slippery kind of hair. So one thing that our nutrition plan for your hair does is really helps you get that volume to the best of your ability. If you are not able to get what you want out of using your own hair, then they have these halo things, and what they have is some that come just on a fishing wire basically looking thing, and it just comes over your scalp like this, and then it sits right here, and then that will add the volume. If that is not something you can find, then they have the clip-in extensions that you can just place in, and that will give you more volume. And those are, and you'll need to know how to tease right at the base. So all the teasing things we were teaching, you'll want to keep a very straight line for putting those clip-in extensions in. What you'll want is a straight line right here. I'll do it higher up. Okay, so you want a straight line when you separate it, because that's where you're going to put the extension. Oh geez, I'm making a mess. That's a way to make a straight line. Okay, so you have your straight line, straightish line, and then you take that straight line, lift it, and then you'll tease right at the base there, okay? And then that will give you enough to clip the little extension into. So if her hair is really fine, you might put a little bit of a volumizing powder or some kind of hairspray in after you tease that, and then that will help you keep the extension in. Those are good questions. Anything else?
We're just going to get those boxes that she puts those bobby pins and stuff in.
Yeah, I think we just got these. So they're asking about where we put, like, we do little kits for when we go on the road. These are our little hair kits, and they're actually pretty handy at home. So it's just like, you know, those Tupperware kits to put organizers in your drawer. You can just get that. I think the dark one shows up better, though. I'll show you the dark one.
Do you remember where you bought them?
Oh, you can get them at Walmart or Target or any of the
Since
big
you can't
boxes.
find them, she was wondering where you got them.
I checked Amazon. I couldn't find them on Amazon.
You can't find them on Amazon either?
Mm-mm. Not that small.
Okay, so this thing is Creative Options. That's specifically the brand of this. Maybe that will help you guys find the link to it. These are Creative Options. Really? You guys can't find them? Oh, Hobby Lobby.
I was just
Hobby
saying,
Lobby has them for sure. Yeah, so you can get these at Hobby Lobby. Whoops, they're not meant to be held vertically. Okay. Anything else? We have more questions?
What's the best way to tease the back of your head?
So tease the back. So basically, I like to start in the back. So if you're separating your hair out, it depends on where you all want to tease, right? If you just want to tease the top, then I would just take a section that's at the top back that I've kind of already teased. Actually, I can't even get through it very good. Okay, so you'll brush that through. That's the top back. I'll show you after what it looks like, okay? So I would usually do 2 to 3 sections there to get like the right amount of volume if you're looking for pretty hair. If you're looking zombie hair, that's different, right? So that's kind of how it looks when you, did I do okay? Was anyone looking? Okay, and then if I wanted to go lower, I would just start lower, right? So I'm starting quite a bit lower, and then all you're doing is the same thing. You want to start kind of close to the base of your scalp, and then you want to rocker the brush like 3 times, and then you'll have more volume. And then please make sure, please make sure that you go over that if you're using it for a normal look and not for Halloween. I really think that a lot of people forget to smooth that enough, and then you kind of get yourself into like too much of a nest looking. So we're looking to smooth over the top, over the tease, so that it doesn't get too like ambitious. It's too ambitious, because you don't want it to take away from the rest of your hair. You don't want people to only see the tease. You want them to see the tease plus your hair, or you want them to see your hair and with volume more than just the tease. Okay.
And Renee would like to know, what is the name of the product that you use, the heat protectant?
Okay, so I always use just our Upstage thermal protectant, and it does everything for you. It should do almost everything you need, except for like at the very end, that last touch. That's what Timeless does, is just really smooth it and make it feel amazing. Feel is the way you term that. All right, should we do presents? I didn't even tell what presents are going to be today. So presents are going to be an iron and, well, actually, it's going to be the things I use today. So, an iron and thermal protectant and selfie time. All right, so we have winners. Anybody? Bueller? We have a quiet audience today. They're real quiet.
Yes, our
I
first
feel like the
winner.
lights just went dim.
Devin Archie.
Devin Archie, congratulations. You're our first winner of the Halloween time package. I just made that up.
Guys.
And then the second winner is Lisa Knott.
Lisa Knott is the YouTube winner. Okay, perfect. And she gets our Halloween time number 2. Okay, and we're good?
Email addresses.
Okay, don't forget to send us your email address and your mailing address. That's how we get your packages to you ASAP. Thanks for watching. Hopefully your Halloween hair turns out great. I'm so excited for you. Next week we are working on, we're gonna do a curl comparison, I think, if I can find the right iron to compare to, but I need to find one that doesn't have a name on it, so we'll see. I'm gonna show you guys why this iron is worth it, worth your time to invest in learning in it. Okay, bye everybody, see you next week.